Some games are good, some are great, but a rare few, they hit so hard, they ruin other games for you. Today we're diving into 15 games so perfect, they're basically untouchable. From unforgettable stories to jaw-dropping worlds, these are the true 10 out of 10 masterpieces. Elden Ring. This game didn't just raise the bar, it shattered it, buried it, and summoned a dragon to guard the wreckage. Elden Ring is From Software's brutal open-world masterpiece released in 2022, blending high fantasy with soul-crushing difficulty in a world sculpted by George R.R. Martin. You play as the Tarnished, a nameless warrior exiled from grace, clawing your way through the shattered lands between. The narrative isn't spoon-fed, it's etched into cryptic dialogue, grotesque bosses, and melancholic ruins. You're chasing fragments of the Elden Ring to restore power, but every step feels like a desperate dance with death. Combat? Oh man, this isn't button mashing. It's high-stakes, balletic carnage, parries, rolls, stagger systems, a buffet of swords, sorcery, and sheer chaos. Each boss is a mythological nightmare with lore as rich as their design. With endless builds, hidden secrets, and dozens of hours of gameplay, it's pure adrenaline. I remember getting annihilated by Margit for 2 days straight, and loving every second of it. If you crave challenge, freedom, and a world that devours and rewards in equal measure, you owe it to yourself to play Elden Ring.
Get down here now, you inbred trash!
What the hell do you want?
Easy, Johnny.
Red Dead Redemption 2. This game isn't just played, it's lived. Red Dead Redemption 2, crafted by Rockstar Games in 2018, is a colossal open-world western that drops you into 1899 America as the Age of Outlaws comes to a brutal, bloody end. You play as Arthur Morgan, a rugged, sharp-tongued gunslinger with a heart buried deep beneath scars and cynicism. The narrative is jaw-droppingly emotional. Watching Arthur evolve from loyal enforcer to reflective, broken soul is some of the best character work in gaming. The story is massive, weaving personal arcs with historical weight, betrayal, and redemption. The world? Breathtaking. Every canyon, town, and thunderstorm feels real, alive, and begging to be explored. Combat is visceral and grounded. Dead-eye slow-mo headshots, brutal fistfights, and desperate shootouts in the mud. Arthur's relationships with the gang make every moment feel personal and heartbreaking. The gameplay is rich with hunting, heists, horseback chases, poker, and even shaving. I spent hours just riding, taking it all in. This game isn't fast-paced, it's soul-paced. If you want a masterpiece of immersion, emotion, and cinematic beauty, Red Dead Redemption 2 is simply unmissable. The Last of Us Part 1. This isn't just a game, it's a gut punch wrapped in beauty and dread. The Last of Us Part 1, originally launched in 2013 and remade in 2022 by Naughty Dog, is a post-apocalyptic action-adventure that redefined emotional storytelling in games. You step into the weary boots of Joel, a broken man surviving a world overrun by infection and despair, tasked with smuggling a young girl, Ellie, who may be humanity's last hope. Every scene is drenched in raw emotion, from their tense silences to gut-wrenching moments that leave scars. The plot grips like a vice. What starts as a delivery mission evolves into a deeply personal, morally gray odyssey across a crumbling America. The gameplay blends stealth, crafting, and brutal close-quarters combat, but it's the desperation in every swing and the weight behind every bullet that makes it unforgettable. Ellie and Joel feel real, flawed, layered, and unforgettable. With a tight 15 to 20 hour runtime and haunting replay value, this game hurts in the best way possible. I'll be honest, this one made me sit in silence after the credits. If you want a story-driven experience that leaves a lasting emotional crater, The Last of Us Part 1 is a must.
Fine. My turn.
God of War 2018. This isn't the same old Kratos, it's a god reinvented, reborn, and more badass than ever. God of War 2018, developed by Santa Monica Studio, slams you into Norse mythology with a fresh perspective on an old rage machine. You now play as a weathered, more controlled Kratos, journeying with his son Atreus through a snow-covered, monster-infested realm to honor a final wish. The emotional depth is insane. This is a story about fatherhood, grief, and legacy wrapped in mythological warfare. The plot starts simple but unfolds into a powerful, emotional epic with jaw-dropping reveals and incredible world-building. Combat is a brutal symphony. Every swing of the Leviathan axe feels like it could split the world in two. From close-quarters brawling to elemental attacks and creative boss fights, it's endlessly satisfying. Atreus isn't just a sidekick. He's crucial in combat and storytelling. The gameplay blends exploration, puzzles, and heart-stopping fights with god-tier polish. I lost track of how many times I muttered "Holy shit" mid-battle. If you want a game with soul, spectacle, and unforgettable moments, God of War delivers in divine proportions. Ghost of Tsushima. This game is straight-up samurai poetry in motion, dipped in blood and honor. Ghost of Tsushima, released in 2020 by Sucker Punch, is an open-world action-adventure set during the Mongol invasion of feudal Japan. You play as Jin Sakai, a noble samurai forced to bend his code and become the Ghost, a stealthy warrior who strikes from the shadows to save his homeland. The story hits hard, torn between tradition and evolution, with emotional weight carried by unforgettable characters like Lord Shimura and Yuna. It's a tale of sacrifice, identity, and the painful cost of survival. The game world, absolutely jaw-dropping. Rolling hills, flaming forests, golden temples, and winds that guide your path. Combat is chef's kiss. Duels are cinematic, standoffs are thrilling, and switching stances mid-fight to counter enemies is smooth as silk. Every encounter feels earned, every blade / a deadly dance. Jin's transformation from samurai to ghost is one of gaming's best arcs. You'll sink 40 to 50 hours easily without even noticing. Personally, I couldn't stop taking screenshots. It's that stunning. If you've ever wanted to live a Kurosawa film, Ghost of Tsushima delivers it with style, soul, and steel. Cyberpunk 2077. This game went from meme to masterpiece, and now it's one of the most immersive sci-fi experiences ever made. Cyberpunk 2077, developed by CD Projekt Red and fully reborn after its rocky 2020 launch, throws you into Night City, a neon-drenched dystopian hellscape where power is everything and loyalty means nothing. You play as V, a merc with a customizable past, chasing immortality while sharing brain space with the legendary rocker outlaw Johnny Silverhand. The narrative is gritty, layered, and bursting with unforgettable side characters. Panam, Judy, River, all with stories that hit just as hard as the main quest. The plot blends corporate corruption, digital souls, and existential dread into a high-stakes roller coaster. Combat is savage. Blades, guns, hacking, cyberware, all customizable, all deadly. 1 second you're slow-mo slicing through a gang, the next you're melting minds with quick hacks. The city breathes, crowds, music, advertisements. It's overwhelming in the best way. You'll lose dozens of hours just wandering, fighting, romancing, upgrading, and replaying. Personally, I didn't expect to care so deeply, but I left Night City emotionally wrecked. If you want style, substance, and a story that sticks, Cyberpunk 2077 is your ticket to the future. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This isn't a game. It's a gauntlet of pain, precision, and pure triumph. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, unleashed by From Software in 2019, is a brutal action-adventure set in a twisted version of Sengoku-era Japan, soaked in myth, blood, and divine curses. You are Wolf, a shinobi sworn to protect a young divine heir, silent, stoic, and armed with a blade sharper than fate itself. The narrative is rich with betrayal, honor, and supernatural threads that slowly unravel into something far deeper and darker than expected. The plot is laser-focused. Rescue your master, defy death, and carve through corruption. And combat? Let's talk about combat. This isn't dodge roll spam. It's rhythm, posture breaking, perfect parries, and death blows so clean they feel illegal. Every boss is a test of patience and skill, intense, fair, and ridiculously satisfying. The gameplay loop is tight, with stealth, verticality, and tight swordplay all blending seamlessly. It's not for the faint of heart, but the reward is unmatched. I died 53 times to Genichiro and loved every second of it. If you want to master a game that demands your best and gives back tenfold, Sekiro will slice its way into your soul. Marvel's Spider-Man. If swinging through New York City in style sounds like a dream, this game makes it a reality you won't want to leave. Marvel's Spider-Man, developed by Insomniac Games in 2018, is a superhero action-adventure that captures everything amazing about being Peter Parker. You play as a seasoned Spidey, witty, compassionate, and juggling crime-fighting with his messy personal life. The story is heartfelt and surprisingly emotional, with brilliant takes on classic characters like MJ and Miles Morales. The plot? It builds like a perfect comic arc, starting with street thugs and exploding into a full-scale war for the city's soul. And the combat, my god, is pure ballet. Web-slinging, gadget combos, slow-mo dodges, aerial flips. It's fast, fluid, and endlessly fun. Every villain fight is memorable, every encounter dynamic. You'll lose hours swinging just because it feels incredible. The characters are brought to life with phenomenal writing and voice work. You'll laugh, cry, and cheer.
Here I come! Is this the flight to Newark?
With loads of suits, side missions, and collectibles, it's packed with replay value. Personally, I couldn't stop smiling every time I took to the skies. If you've ever dreamed of being the webhead, Marvel's Spider-Man makes that dream glorious. Dishonored. This game lets you play like a ghost, or an unstoppable supernatural assassin, and both feel incredible. Dishonored, developed by Arcane Studios in 2012, is a steampunk stealth action gem set in the plague-ridden, whale oil-powered city of Dunwall. You step into the silent shoes of Corvo Attano, the betrayed royal bodyguard framed for murder, now armed with a mask, a blade, and vengeance. The narrative is dark, conspiratorial, and beautifully twisted, packed with morally great choices and unforgettable figures like the Outsider and Lady Boyle. The plot unravels through assassination, deception, and choices that shape the city's fate. Lethal or merciful, it's all up to you. Combat? It's an elegant sandbox of chaos. Blink across rooftops, stop time mid-battle, summon rats to devour foes, or slit throats in pure silence. Each level is a playground for creativity, offering endless approaches. Characters respond to your actions, and the world reacts. Corruption spreads or peace blossoms depending on how you play. It's not just replayable, it begs for it. Personally, I savored every alternate route and what-if kill scenario. If you love smart gameplay, masterfully crafted worlds, and power fantasy with consequences, Dishonored is an essential experience. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. This isn't just a game, it's a saga, a living novel, and a damn near flawless RPG masterpiece. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, released in 2015 by CD Projekt Red, throws you into a dark, morally complex fantasy world teeming with monsters, war, and stories that will haunt you. You play as Geralt of Rivia, a grizzled, sarcastic, silver-haired monster slayer for hire, torn between his duties and his heart. The narrative? Rich, sprawling, and packed with unforgettable characters like Yennefer and the fiercely independent Ciri. The main plot follows Geralt tracking down Ciri while evading the spectral Wild Hunt. But the side quests, many of them are better than other games' main stories. Combat is deep and tactical. Swords, signs, alchemy, dodging. It's all about preparation and quick reflexes. One minute you're slaying a griffin, the next you're unraveling a murder mystery in a cursed village. The world is staggeringly vast and alive. Every forest, swamp, and city brims with detail and danger. I spent over 100 hours and still discovered new quests. If you're looking for depth, immersion, and storytelling at its peak, The Witcher 3 is an absolute must-play. Liking the list so far? Then smash that like button, subscribe with the bell on so you don't miss the next masterpiece. Now, back to the chaos.
Down this way! Through here! Watch yourself! Oh, crap! Over there! To the left! That's the...
Uncharted 4. Adventure has never looked this good or felt this personal. Uncharted 4, developed by Naughty Dog and released in 2016, is a cinematic action adventure that sends the legendary treasure hunter Nathan Drake on one final, unforgettable ride. You step back into Nate's well-worn boots as he's pulled out of retirement by his long-lost brother Sam, setting off a globe-trotting hunt for pirate gold and buried secrets. The story balances blockbuster spectacle with deeply human moments. Love, brotherhood, regret, it's all here. From collapsing ruins to wild car chases through muddy city streets, the game is one non-stop thrill ride. Combat is tight and dynamic. Slick cover shooting, explosive set pieces, stealth takedowns, and grappling hook stunts that feel straight out of Hollywood. And the characters? They shine. Sully, Elena, Sam, they're witty, vulnerable, and layered. Exploration and puzzles add a perfect break from the action, keeping gameplay fresh and engaging.
Alright, that's one crate secure.
Good timing. We're right above you, Sling's on its way down.
I remember grinning ear to ear 1 minute and getting hit right in the feels the next. If you want adventure, emotion, and a flawless send-off to one of gaming's most beloved heroes, Uncharted 4 is the definition of a 10 out of 10. Dark Souls 3. This game doesn't hold your hand. It breaks your fingers and dares you to keep playing. Dark Souls 3, released in 2016 by From Software, is the punishingly brilliant conclusion to the legendary Souls saga, set in the dying embers of a crumbling world. You are the Ashen One, a cursed undead soul tasked with reigniting the flame, or letting the world finally rot. The story is deep and cryptic, told through cryptic item descriptions, melancholic NPCs, and unforgettable bosses like the Nameless King or Sister Frida. The plot is less about exposition and more about discovery, making every step forward feel like earned lore. Combat is razor sharp, dodge rolls, perfectly timed parries, stamina management, and some of the most fluid and violent swordplay in gaming. The bosses are brutal ballets of destruction, requiring focus, skill, and maybe a few rage breaks. Characters like Firekeeper and Hawkwood carry mystery and quiet tragedy that lingers long after you shut the game off. The gameplay loop of dying, learning, retrying, and eventually conquering is addictively rewarding. Personally, every boss victory felt like pure triumph. If you're ready to suffer, overcome, and scream in glorious victory, Dark Souls 3 is your next test. Bloodborne. This game doesn't just scare you, it consumes you. Bloodborne, released in 2015 by From Software, is a relentless action horror masterpiece that throws you into the gothic nightmare of Yharnam, a city drowned in bloodlust, beasts, and cosmic terror. You play as the Hunter, a mysterious figure caught in an endless, cursed night, seeking answers with a saw cleaver and a flask full of courage. The story unfolds like a fever dream, cryptic, haunting, and deeper than it first appears, filled with whispers of eldritch gods and twisted science. The plot's unraveling is as much emotional as it is intellectual. Every revelation feels earned and unnerving. Combat is fast, feral, and vicious. No shields, no safety, just pure aggression. You dodge, parry with firearms, and counterattack with savage precision. The monsters, grotesque art come to life. The gameplay loop of risk, reward, and raw terror is unmatched, eerie, and unforgettable. Personally, no game has made me feel fear, awe, and triumph in such rapid succession. If you're brave enough to face your nightmares and crave challenge soaked in style, Bloodborne is your beautiful descent into madness. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game redefined freedom and then dared you to chase it. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, released in 2017 by Nintendo, is an open-world action-adventure that gives you a ruined Hyrule and says, go, survive, explore, discover. You play as Link, the silent hero awakening from a century-long slumber, tasked with defeating Calamity Ganon and restoring balance to a shattered world. The story unfolds at your pace, rich with memories, legends, and mysterious echoes of a lost kingdom. It's a tale told through exploration as much as dialogue. Combat is fluid and creative. Use swords, bows, bombs, physics, fire, and your brain. Enemies aren't just threats, they're puzzles. Every mechanic in this world is designed to interact naturally, from climbing cliffs in a storm to cooking meals that save your life. Characters like Zelda and the four champions bring emotion, humor, and gravitas. The gameplay is so open it feels like you're crafting your own story every minute. I once spent hours just paragliding and setting things on fire for science. If you crave true player freedom wrapped in artistry and wonder, Breath of the Wild is your open-world paradise. Before we jump into the final game, here are some honorable mentions that barely miss the main list, but still deserve your attention just as much. Mass Effect, the one that started it all. Epic sci-fi storytelling, unforgettable choices, and a universe that pulls you in and never lets go. Shepard's legacy begins here. Skyrim, Fuss Ro Da, anyone? This open-world fantasy sandbox is still a powerhouse of freedom, exploration, and pure RPG magic. A Plague Tale Requiem, heartbreaking, haunting, and absolutely stunning. It's an emotional roller coaster set in a brutal world of plague and innocence lost. Mass Effect 2, possibly the greatest sci-fi RPG ever made. Building your team, making impossible choices, and that suicide mission, pure perfection. Now, let's close things out with the final entry on this legendary list. Black Myth Wukong. This game arrives riding a legend, and it more than lives up to the myth. Black Myth Wukong, developed by Game Science and released on August 20th, 2024 for PS5 and PC, is an action RPG deeply rooted in Journey to the West. You play as the Destined One, a reincarnation of the Monkey King, armed with an extendable staff, spells, and shape-shifting swagger. The narrative is woven with Chinese folklore, cosmic scale, and characters that feel ancient yet vividly alive. The core plot sends Wukong on a quest to recover 6 relics tied to his senses, all while grappling with identity, destiny, and power. Combat is an absolute spectacle. Lightning-fast staff combos, stance shifting, smash, pillar, thrust, magical spells, and cinematic finishers that make every fight feel choreographed. Enemies are monstrous and unforgettable, with design pulled straight from myth. Gameplay blends precision melee, parrying, transformation, exploration, and occasional platforming into one sleek package. With around 20+ challenging boss encounters and secrets down the line, replayability is high, and future expansions are on the way. Personally, it left me breathless. Powerful, poetic, and punishing.
Needs honing. Good. I was in need of a back scratcher.
If you're ready to wield myth and master mayhem, Black Myth, Wukong isn't just a must-play, it is the mountain. And there you have it. 15 absolutely perfect 10 out of 10 games that you have to experience at least once in your life. Whether you're in it for the stories, the worlds, the insane combat, or just the pure joy of gaming greatness, this list has something legendary for everyone. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another epic video. Drop a comment below with your favorite pick, or tell me what your personal 10 out of 10 game is. Until next time, keep playing, keep exploring, and stay legendary.